Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy, so keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Hey, it's the Diaz brothers from Zate Comics, and we're back with our latest campaign, bringing together all the greatest artists and talent that CG has to offer. So take a look at...
Whoa! I'll take it from here, Diaz brothers. What up, people? It's your boy, Mr. CG. Allow me to be your tour guide on the biggest, bounciest beach party book in CG history. CG Vacation! We got bodacious beach spots springing up from the biggest properties in indie comics. Baby, you don't need those guns when you got these guns, you know what I'm saying? Featuring art from the industry's heavy hitters, as well as the best new CG talent. I'm talking Dale Keown, Billy Tucci, Auntie Bear, Shanth and Jenny, Rennie Draws, and many more, rubbing ink on hot properties you love, like Pit, Sheep, First Man, Sovereign Wolf,
Cyber Frog,
Shanu, the Lucent, Downcast. I could go on and on. And I will. We got Andy Smith, Kelsey Shannon, PTP, Kaylee, Lil Presti, Monster MD, Rage Tully, Graveyard Shift. Yo, on CG Beach, we even got the weebs covered. Or, uncovered. It's gonna be more than 50 pages of pinup perfection, like Penumbra over here. Hey, Mamacita, I was just walking by, and I couldn't help but notice. Holy crap, what the hell is that? We're all gonna die! Why are you posing right now? So what are you waiting for? Take a little break and get away with all your faves. You know you deserve it. Back CG Vacation on Indiegogo today. Later, gang. We got Dahl, Robertson, Joe Ball, Sontag, Miriam Diaz, Lawless, Bancroft, Romero, McMahon.
Good morning, come on in. Coffee's good, fresh and hot. There's a waffle in the baker on the grill. We're making bacon. You're always welcome back.
Charge!
There's a fire beneath my skin. There's a fever that makes me ill. Gotta love, a love that kills. I got 24 hours to live. Come back. I'm down on my knees. Come back. I'm begging you, please.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? My name is Shanth and Jetty, and this is Shanth and Jetty Art. Welcome to the Waffle Lodge. We have a great show for you today. We have someone I have a wonderful past with, a fortuitous past. Mr. Andy Smith is with us today, and we've got Dennis Turner with us as well. I have never met Dennis before, and we're going to be talking about their book, KOR-DRATH, The Reckoning, which is on Indiegogo right now. And the one thing I will say about Dennis is, if I'm not mistaken, he makes for an entertaining road trip YouTube video with Andy when they're stuck in traffic going to a convention. So fantastic to have these guys here. Let's bring them in so we can talk about their amazing project. And thank you guys for being here today. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So guys, KOR-DRATH, The Reckoning looks awesome.
Thank
So
you.
tell us about it, man. And how are you guys doing?
We're doing good, doing good. We're actually taking a little road trip, a couple hours south on Saturday afternoon for a one-day show in Greenville, South Carolina, SC Comic Con Junior. And who knows? Maybe well, Bud Root will be with us as well. So who knows? Maybe we'll queue up a little live stream for that road trip. You never know.
As long as we got a little signal, I think we can do it.
As long
That's
as
right,
there's
man.
a signal.
That's right.
So
yeah, guys, so Andy introduced me to, and you might have been on the stream as well, but that there were still copies of the Bud Root art book on Bud Plant, and I ordered it right away, and I'm excited about that cover. And I've been looking at this campaign. I'm unbelievably excited about it because it's I backed First Man 1, First Man 2, and then you were kind enough to send me the sort of anthology book with the 2 stories in it a while back. And this is next up for me, man. Looking forward to it.
So you got Bud's book, right? You got it?
Oh, I have it.
Okay.
It's here somewhere. I don't want to start an avalanche, but it's here.
Just making sure. Cool.
Yeah, he draws the best werewolves, man, for my money. That guy's awesome.
He does.
He does. I mean, besides the chicks, he draws great creatures and stuff. So
dinosaurs, he's great at all that stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely.
What's up? KOR-DRATH, The Reckoning. It's a bombastic barbarian tale, fantasy action at its best. It's got hints of D&D, because Dennis has a long history with Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games. And
say what? No.
I know.
Go ahead.
Before our Dennis and Andy show, we role play, but it's not meant.
That's right. That's exactly right.
It's not meant for the streams. Let's just put it that way.
Not. We keep it real.
You'd be amazed that you look at Dennis, and he's a big fellow, but he can put on a French maid outfit. I'll just leave it.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. And I know you guys pose for both of these characters. You're shredded.
Right. I was KOR-DRATH and Dennis was Adriana. So
considering I was First Man last time, so I mean, it's a lot of change that I have to work on.
That's right. That's right. It's true. So he really is, though, seriously an expert in all that stuff.
Sure.
Just back from, and he'll be able to tell you as well, but just back from doing all the D&D stuff back from the beginning when D&D first started up to current. And the amount of fantasy novels he has on his shelf that he's read and all that. And, I want to do something different after First Man and take a little break from the character, since it was basically 2 years just working on it. So I pitched him an idea of basically, I was like, I want to do a barbarian type thing with, the main character is a guy, but I want him to have not necessarily a sidekick, but an equal that is a woman, so I can draw the 2 things I love drawing, which are, buff dudes and hot chicks. So he was like, yeah, we can work something up with that. And, he came up with this great story where there's this world that he built, and a part of the world, because the whole world's not the Shattered Reach. It's just this part that, I guess you could say, of the world that this story takes place is the Shattered Reach. And he created 11 different tribes, and this story deals with 3 specific tribes. And basically, KOR-DRATH's tribe is the main tribe, and they all get taken out, slaughtered. And KOR-DRATH needs to find out, who did it, and more importantly, why. So it is really a hero's journey for him, because he wasn't the leader of the tribe. So it's not like, well, I'm the leader and I have to do it. He wasn't the leader, but now he's the remaining person, and he has to take it on himself to find out what the hell is going on.
Yep, he swears a blood oath, so he's going to be doing it until it's either done or he's done.
Yeah, and it's funny, the whole blood oath. It really is. There's a scene in the book where you slice your palms and do that. And I was like, I'm down with that. And Dennis was like, well, we have to do a blood oath that we're doing this book. And I'm like, cool, we can just shake on it. He's like, no, we need to slice our palms. And I'm like, can I just spit in my hand and, do that? And he's like, no, you must slice your palm. And I was like, well, you go first. And that's when I knew he wouldn't do it. So he was like, no, I'm good. I was seeing if you would do it first. And then I was going to laugh.
Yeah, Dennis keeps it real. Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis keeps it real.
Besides, we
I don't
have
know
to
if you
say-
guys know this, but Dennis kind of considers himself a one-man wolf pack.
He does.
And
I
and
am
I'll
the
tell you
alpha,
this.
the beta, and the Charlie all rolled into one.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Well, you know what I love about it is that you talked about being interested, you know, and playing D&D a lot when you were a kid, and I played D&D as well when I was younger, and a little bit when I was older with my son. And the thing about it that amazes me is there's an entire generation of creators who grew up in love with these immersive worlds and with all of these backstories, even if you didn't see them in that immediate narrative, sort of like The Hobbit. There was this understanding of a world beyond that could then be expanded. And so to me, it's like Robert E. Howard, you know, crossed with that kind of immersive nature we're used to seeing. How did that work come together? Were you guys just, I'm sure, Dennis, you were like, I'm in, but how has that been for you guys working on this?
Hey, let me answer a question first. David G said,
sure.
have you thought about maybe making the Dan Lawless print a variant cover? I'm confused because there is no technical Dan Lawless print. There's 2 covers that he colored. He colored my cover and he colored the Bud Root cover. And those are covers that you can get. So there isn't just the print by Dan. So your wish has been granted. And they're not even 24 hours. You can get them whenever you want. So
absolutely.
Unless he was thinking something else, I don't know. And, you know, clarify if you want. But both of the jobs that Dan did are covers. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things I was really, you know, struck by is Dan's been doing a lot of coloring. And this is one of those amazing covers colored by Dan Lawless and illustrated by Andy Smith here. And then I think if we scroll down, we've got another Dan Lawless coloring job, Bud Root.
Yep.
Holy cow, you guys have got some heavy hitters collaborating on this outside of even yourselves who are heavy hitters as well. Nice.
Yeah. But I mean, what was your question again? How did we come about it or whatever?
I don't know, man. My question was, okay, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you know, I mean, we were on a few hour car ride to a con and what's up, Michael? And we were just spitballing ideas back and forth. And, you know, he did a lot of the heavy lifting in regards to the world building and the story and stuff. You know, one of the things, because, you know, Dennis has written short stories, you know, prose stuff, but never a comic book script. So I said, look, I don't want you to just write like 20 or 30 pages of a script and then I read it. I said, just start off with a 1 to 2 page outline, because that'll give, you know, that encapsulates the whole story from beginning to end, because that'll give me enough information to go, yeah, let's run with this or let's tweak this or whatever. Right, Dennis? That's about.
No, it is. So I have written short stories, things like that. You know, as I DM'd, we did before I moved here, we did a 6-year campaign with a lot of my friends that I played in high school and college with, and we still finished up before we moved to Charlotte. You know, and what we would do is we would write stories. So because we lived all around between Illinois and Wisconsin, there was a big gap. So we met once a month. So the whole thing is story based through email. So we would go back and forth writing stories, editing it, going through. And then I would put out a 40-page battle plan for the weekend. And basically that's what it was. So there was always this stuff. So Andy hit me up and he was like, you know, you build all these worlds and you do all of this creativity, and he goes, I really want to draw big broody guys that can smash things and really hot women. How can we fit that into something like in a barbarian? And I'm like, well, I've got this whole world I've created, so I can focus in on one area where there's 11 barbarian tribes, each with their distinct culture that's in there. We'll pick some. And then I'm like, we got magic. Magic works different than they do in D&D or Pathfinder or any of that. So we can bring all of this together to a very unique experience. And the more we talked about it, I mean, we were at the convention all weekend. And by, I think, Sunday before we left, he's like, dude, we got to do this.
Oh, that's awesome.
Literally how it came together.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
my
and then
gosh,
he did.
man.
He wrote up just a couple pages of I mean, it was definitely more than an outline. It went in pretty good detail, and it was enough. It's definitely what he wrote is enough for more than just this one book. But this one book is a self-contained story. I always say that I like doing these. What's up, Amanda? Stephen, thank you.
And design.
I like doing the self-contained books because I look at these like the albums that are put out in Europe, where they come out basically once a year. So you want to give the person the satisfaction, just like a movie. You go to a movie, even if like John Wick, nobody knew there was going to be 4 of those. The first one was nice, self-contained. Obviously, it did real well. They did a sequel. You went and saw that one. You knew there was already going to be a third one, but the second one was nice, self-contained. And that's how I like to do things. So there can be little subplots that'll drip through to the next story, but the main chunk, the main bulk will be wrapped up. So there isn't anything lingering where you're like, I got to wait a year. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so you're looking at it from a standpoint of there may be more. There could be more.
Oh, yeah.
There likely will be more, but we've got a self-contained story that introduces you into this world. And I mean, for me, it's great having you on the show because you and I know we've had these conversations. This was actually some of our first conversations outside of the, setting up the streaming stuff, which was, for anybody in the chat who doesn't know, my first professional job. Andy did the cover work on it. Let me.
Oh, look at that. He pulls it out and everything.
There it is.
Did you find that in a 25-cent box?
Well, I don't know if I pay 25 cents for the interiors, but I pay more for the cover. But this was my first pro job I did when I was 17 years old. And I remember seeing these guys at the Diamond Distribution Convention. And they were there promoting their book. And I saw this cover and I was like, I want to do the interiors for this book. And they were looking at having another person do the interiors. And when they saw my stuff, and I was like, I can make those interiors, which I can get the characters at least on model to what's on the cover because I love the cover so much.
Sure.
And so it's pretty crazy when you look at COMICSGATE and you look at how we all have kind of met each other over time and on these winding roads. And then we come together and make this magic stuff come together. It's like, childhood dream come true. Mm-hmm. And so when I hear you guys talk about how you got here and how, KOR-DRATH came to be, that's what's exciting to me. It's not your friendship. How long have you guys known each other?
I mean, honestly, I want to say it feels like forever. Cause let me tell you, he's a drain, but, no, I think
I'm also the one who keeps it real.
He does.
There you go.
He keeps it.
That's
keeps it real. I don't know. Has it even been? I don't even think it's been 10 years.
No, it's
7?
probably been
maybe 7,
8, 9. I mean,
yeah, something.
I used to help out at a comic shop here in town, and Andy would come in every Wednesday morning and pick up some books and stuff like that. And, I talked to everybody that came in, so I got to know all the customers and stuff like that, and Andy was one. And then we started doing pizza at movie. We kind of realized, we like the same movies, and we talked to, and then he hit me up one day and said, we really should start doing this podcast. So we actually started doing a podcast together, and that's what started us down this whole stream, podcasting that turned into live streams. So we do movie reviews, TV show reviews, NFL stuff. I mean, you just name it. We just started doing all this nerd stuff. Now, I am a different kind of a nerd. I'm an all-encompassing nerd. Andy is one of the biggest comic book nerds. So, it was pretty awesome. So that's how we kind of started doing it. And then everything just keeps morphing.
Oh,
That's
okay.
awesome.
So wait, he was talking real quick. He was talking about the shot of him on the throne as maybe a variant cover. I mean, everybody's getting that backs the campaign already because that was the first stretch goal. And I've got, as of now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variant covers, including Bud's black and white cover, which you can get in the 2 bundles. And that I did for 24 hours when the campaign first launched. And I don't want to do more variants than that. And you are getting it as a mini print. So, it's, to me, it's almost like a win-win because you can pick whichever cover you want. And you're getting that 7x10 card as a mini print anyhow. It's just not actually going to be on the book, but
Yeah,
don't
we're
know.
not that far away from getting the second stretch goal,
Yeah, we're
which is
closer.
the second one.
But yeah, so I mean, Dennis was right. I am a huge comic book nerd. I'm trying to think what other stuff. For me, it's really comics and movies. I did role-playing games when I was a kid, but I kind of fell out of it. I've never been a video game guy. I mean, honestly, the last video game thing we owned was the first. I don't even know if there's a second gen, but it was the first gen Wii game. Yeah. And the only reason we owned it is because, and this goes back, like 11, 12 years. The only reason we owned it is I got contacted by somebody to do a piece of artwork, lived in town, and asked how much. And I said, I told him, and she was like, have you ever thought about, would you barter or trade? And I said, yeah, I got no problem doing that. If there was something I want in return, and she was like, are you into video games? And I said, well, I mean, I'm not really, but I have a daughter and, my wife might be. Why? What do you have? And she goes, I got this. Basically, it's a brand new Wii system. I trade you for that. And I was like, okay. So that's the only reason I had it, and it came with the whole exercise thing that you stood on and stuff as well. And so we had that, but I just never really used it much. Nobody did.
I'm a big video gamer. I grew up on the arcades. I got an Apple IIc at home. We had the Commodore 64s, Karateka. Nice. We were just talking about that on Reenie's channel last night.
Wait. Did you just bring up Karateka?
I did. That was one of the.
I was talking about that on the previous stream. I loved that game, man.
Did you really?
Yes.
Karateka, Bard's Tale, Archon, the original Wizardries. Yeah. I mean, I stayed up to all hours of the night on it. And for Christmas, my parents, because they went from the Apple II Plus, then the 2E, and then I got the 2C at home with the Amber monitor. And I just literally stayed up all night. And if you can see, I'll zoom out a little. I even have a tank stick. So I've got a MAME system set up on my computer system here, so I can sit there and play all the arcade games from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. That is absolutely great. And as the groomsman, just so you know, the groomsman, Andy, this is the impact you've had on my life, which without knowing it, Andy, you did. So I went off to college right after I had finished the artwork for this book for Threshers, and a guy who had just moved to my town saw me in the local newspaper in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
This guy's going to school. And his mom sent him the article. And I was coming up from the post office with the package of Threshers. And he goes, hey, are you that guy who drew that comic book for Chattanooga? This was in 1994. And that's the groomsman.
Oh,
that's
wow.
The guy in the chat. He was one of my groomsmen. That's why he goes by that name.
Yeah.
And he said here, he goes, so to go full circle, Shanth needs to do a cover for Andy's book. We are looking at making that a 150K stretch goal, but we'll let you know when we get closer. That's the key.
There you go. That's the key.
We get to 150, guys. Make it happen. Let me know what your backer numbers are in the chat if you back it during the stream, and even if you've backed it before. But I want to see if we can get this campaign moving, because we've come here to chew bubblegum and to sell comic books.
I tell you,
out of bubblegum.
Dennis and I have both made the vow that when we hit 100, not if, when we hit 100. So what will happen? It's the sooner the better for your entertainment purposes. Neither one of us will get a haircut until the campaign closes.
There you have it.
And now, Dennis has hair, so, and he's had it long before. I can grow hair. I obviously shave my head because I've got just the horseshoe going on. So if I grow my hair for months, it's going to look ridiculous. So if you want to see that ridiculousness, you got to get the 6 figures, because I will not cut it.
So, I mean, if I can do a mullet, I think Andy can do a horseshoe.
Oh, I can.
Oh,
and I'm like Bozo the Clown. I got curly hair, so it'll go.
That's going to be the thing that takes you over the edge here, Andy. That's what it is. And I've got to refresh this just so we can see. Have we moved? Let's see. Boom.
Boom. Look at that. $14 away from 56. Got to be able to do that.
We are so close, and I have to play this video real quick. Whenever we move something here, because Narwhal was throwing down, I saw him talk a little smack about my ability to move comics versus his. That's how he is. God bless him. God bless that boy.
Oh, I know
it.
And so I've devised the Injetti Jolt for this occasion.
Oh,
If you back this book,
I
that'll
like-
happen.
that is nice.
That is.
Does this book contain a color version of the story, a black, white version of the story, and character sketch? Sorry. Oh no, the black, white, and raw is literally just the black and white artwork. It won't have, it will not have word balloons either. So it's literally just the black and white artwork. I don't want to put the word balloons on because it's supposed to be like an artist edition. So I want people to see what the word balloons covered up. You know, I mean, if I had it my way, which it's our thing, we could, but it would cost a lot in mailing. That's why I'm not doing it. I could have these pages lettered on their original art, but my letterer is in California and I'm not going to, mail pages back and forth to have that done. If the guy, if he lived close by, I'd consider it, but it's going to be digitally lettered like everything is these days. So no, it's just going to be all the original artwork scanned in full color, like an artist edition. Some of the character pages I drew, Bud's variant cover, well, all the variant covers, but including Bud's variant cover as well, is going to be on there too, or in the book as well. So it's really for the. I mean, it's a cool collectible. It's cheaper now because it's $65 now compared to $80 when the campaign's over. And but it'll be cool because it'll be like holding the originals in your hand. So
yeah, I
there
mean,
you go.
this is the thing. And hail Admiral Wackass, Amanda, all you great people.
Yeah,
Leg
what's
Kick
up?
One, Cowabunga. Look at all these great people. Wolf
I
E.
know.
I have to point something out because I like to make sure that if I have not backed a project yet, I wait for a special occasion to back it.
Well, there
So
you
I
go.
just backed this project, and I want to
Nice.
see if we have crossed over.
I would assume so because I can do easy math.
Okay, well, you know what? The truth is somewhere in between, Andy. The truth
That's
is
true.
somewhere in
That's
between.
what I tell
You never
Dennis
know.
all the time. I go, Dennis, you think the Packers are one of the greatest teams, but the truth is somewhere in between.
Listen, I feel like this is I don't know if you guys have ever seen Dodgeball,
I love that
Oh,
movie.
I've even seen a grown man satisfy a camel, but I don't know about this new maths. Let me
That's
see
right.
if I can
What's the quote from that movie? If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a
You can
ball.
dodge a
dodge a
ball.
ball. Well, let's
God, I
see what
love
we've
that
got here. Let's see what we've got here. Boom.
Oh, thank
There
you
you
so
go.
much. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. It's funny.
56K.
So, and thank you for that, Shanth. I really appreciate it. It's funny. I belong to or subscribe to Steve Crowder's show, Louder with Crowder.
Mhm.
So I can get the behind the paywall stuff and
Mhm.
which they do every day. And today's behind the paywall, it was, a movie they couldn't do today. And it was Airplane from, with Leslie Nielsen and stuff.
Yeah.
And the scene they showed, and it's a shame because he's actually right. The scene they showed, there's no way anybody would have the balls to do it today.
The
But there's
autopilot?
nothing wrong with it. And the scene was two of the passengers. They were
Yeah.
both black gentlemen,
Oh,
but they were talking, as they called it, jive.
yes.
So when they were
Gotcha.
talking to each other, they literally had translation
Oh my God.
below,
Yeah, I remember.
so you can read it, right?
Yeah,
and I
Mrs.
was dying.
Cleaver was the one translating.
That was
just
the
it.
point.
Yes.
Yes.
I was dying. So the stewardess comes up and she's like, "What's the problem? What can I do?" And they start talking. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't understand what you're saying." And then what's her name, Dennis?
It was June Cleaver.
Yes. So the actor, you don't remember the actress's name.
No,
right?
Oh,
top of my
gosh.
head.
But whatever. So June Cleaver actress stands up. She's
Mhm.
another passenger. She goes, "Excuse me, I think I can help out. I can translate jive."
Yeah,
Yeah.
she goes, it was the best. She goes in the most unassuming way. She goes, "Excuse me, stewardess, I speak jive," and I just went, "Oh my God!" Like the fact that they cast her was perfect, and she delivered it absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
But I mean, that movie and movies like that.
But it's a shame.
were
You could
just
never make that
so
today.
hilarious.
You couldn't make
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles either.
Oh,
No,
you couldn't.
well, hey, you don't even have to go back that far. There's no way you can make today Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah,
Oh, no
no,
way.
no.
There's no way
Well-
you can make Tropic Thunder today.
one of the things though that I've been thinking about, and Ethan was talking about this last night when Gabe and I were over there, was I think that the way I want to start rephrasing all this stuff is that you couldn't get permission to make those movies today. You just have to make them.
Yeah,
and that's what
exactly.
KOR-DRATH
You
is,
could
right?
make them. And that's the thing, whether, the Daily Wire's trying to make, their own content and stuff, more power to them. I've seen a couple of their movies and I do enjoy them. I really do enjoy the stuff they're putting out.
Well, when they made Spaceballs, right, which is one of my favorite, spoof movies, they got permission from George Lucas to do a spoof of Star Wars. And his one request was that the main character not look like Han Solo. So what he did, Mel Brooks did, he says, okay, I'll agree to that. So instead they made him look like Indiana Jones, the other Harrison Ford main character. It was brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing too, right? Is that what people are getting excited about in this space. And I think it's a matter of time. When I look at a movie, we were talking about Blade on Gabe's channel last night. That movie had a $45 million budget. Every dollar was on the screen. That's kind of unbelievable to think about now. But with every backing you guys get on KOR-DRATH, you can push what you want to do further and further. Like we all want to see perks for these projects. It's like, will there be an action figure? Will there be this? That is honestly up to our backers and all of the fans in this space. And that's why it's so cool. I mean, is this the highest crowdfunded campaign in this amount of time even for this, for you? Or is this? This?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. I mean, this is still the first 30 and so there's 6 days left. And, First Man Volume 2 ended at like 54 and change. So, yeah.
Oh, this
and that
is
was
awesome.
And that was up for like, almost a year. So, yeah.
What's drawing this been like for you? Because this is your first time doing a story with this character, right?
For this guy, yeah, but it's not my first time doing a fantasy book, which well, I'm just saying, I did, before this, it was 10 years ago or so. So I was 20 years in the business when I drew Claw and Red Sonja, but that was my first time doing that type of stuff. And that was 20 years in.
Andy, that was yesterday. Please don't make me feel.
Yeah. So I'm glad that I'm not saying I wouldn't have done this book if I never did that stuff, but because I was nervous going into that job because I never drew that stuff before, except for I did a pinup in a Savage Sword of Conan when I first worked at Marvel. That was it.
But really, this kind of ties into what, when we were trying to figure out what we would do. I mean, I love all sci-fi. I could have no problem doing any type of a sci-fi. I like cyberpunk, Netrunner type of stuff. We could go a route down that way. I mean, we had all these ideas. I actually created an entire game based on like covert operations, CIA kind of James Bond kind of thing. But the more we talked about it, it just felt like we kept coming back to the fantasy aspect going, there's just something, a niche out there right now. We just feel it because just like your chat, we've recognized some of the names, but our regulars were in there and they kept saying, oh, this and this, and we want to hear more about role playing. We want to see the man cave stuff. And they kept coming back to the fantasy type vibes and heavy metal. And then, so it was just natural. I'm like, we ought to listen to what the people are telling us that really like us. And that's kind of where we decided, this is a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, you're totally free. I mean, Andy, your career has been, in so many different fields and you've met so many different people throughout your career in comics. You've worked on action figures, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I've been working with Bart in his studio. We worked on some stuff for Toy Biz. Yep.
And you've worked in comics for, I was shocked to find out you've been in the comic industry for 31 years. And at 35, that is an unbelievable accomplishment.
I know,
Most
right?
People don't start that young.
No, I was 4 years old. And, it was amazing. So, So, I mean, I didn't want it, like Dennis said, we talked about the other genres and stuff. And I like that stuff as well, but it just wasn't enough of a departure from First Man, whereas this is really a big, departure. And I wanted I want to get away from having to worry about drawing, even though sci-fi, you can still make stuff up. It's still,
Guns.
buildings
Andy
and
loves
rulers and
guns.
guns. And well, sci-fi, if I was going to do something, I would have leaned more towards sci-fi just because then at least I don't have to reference guns. I can just make them up,
Yeah.
Amen.
But this just felt right. And it's been fun going on with it, working on interior pages and stuff is fun. And it also lets me play with the inking style because I'm not inking it, I guess you say, like slick, like I usually do my superhero stuff.
Yeah.
It's definitely looser, and I'm doing that on purpose because in this genre and in this world, I just think that type of style lends itself to it more. Ooh, thank you very much.
We've
Wolfie.
got a backer number, so let me see if we've got. Do we have a hero here?
Oh, look at that!
My
We
stars
do.
and garters. Well, and here's what we have to play, guys. These aren't my rules. Okay, they're my rules, but whatever.
Where did you find? I gotta ask the chick with the shirt that says Jolt because you didn't make.
Oh, I made that frame by frame.
Did
How
you
did you-
really?
How? Like you found a cheerleader and then you were able to like put the, clothes on or like.
Listen, I'm going to show you something else I did frame by frame, folks. I'm telling you, you guys have seen Ethan's videos and the intros.
Of course,
You guys
yeah,
know
yeah,
how I
yeah.
roll. Here you go.
Wow,
That's awesome.
that is
We have
awesome.
to put on a show, right? Ethan's charge with us is, make show, and in the words of the Beatles, right, in Germany, what they're getting shouted at them, mach chow, and so that's the thing, right? I want to make sure that when people come on this stream and they back this book, we see that number move because that's the thing I love most about COMICSGATE. You know this because you and I met very early on. I think you might have been one of the second or third intros I did for COMICSGATE Kings. And the thing for me about this is that the dream was to launch a book, and NOSFERO just crossed 30K. I think it was a couple days ago.
Cool.
And the dream was to get a book and launch a book, but I was doing stuff behind the scenes before then. The bigger dream was to grow a channel to the point to where I could help promote other people's books and move it forward. So if the groomsman wants to know what I consider full circle to be, helping in any way to move the number on an Andy Smith book. That's what I call it.
I appreciate it.
Hey, brother, that's what it's about.
I actually wish I still had that cover, but
oh man, Dennis has it. Dennis is like,
it's somewhere. I don't know. Honestly, for all I know, I might, but I actually don't. I can't remember if we worked a deal with those guys to say, well, if you want, you can pay us this much, and we'll just give you the covers as well. That could have been the case.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. So
yeah, I will tell you this, and the groomsman goes, Shanth also filmed himself as the actual cheerleaders. I'm not going to lie. I'm svelte.
You can do a lot with software these days. So.
Yeah, I know. I went to get a haircut when I remember the first Mission Impossible came out. I went to get a haircut and I said, hey, can you make me look like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible? And the guy looked at me because I was in Chattanooga and he goes, I'm not a surgeon, buddy.
There you go.
You gotta love it, man. It's a good time, But yeah, guys, keep letting us know your backer numbers here in the chat when you back this book. We just crossed over to 845, and as you know, I had to back both of those covers because I have indecision and I love both.
Well, thank you.
I have this thing. I don't know if you guys have this, but I always want to have the cover by the person who did the interior, no matter what variant there is. Do you have that?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I love variants. I get both, but
oh no, I do too. I mean, but I always lean towards who did the book. So
yeah, up until recently, I've been an X-Men guy my entire life. So you want to talk about variants? I got every single variant going as far back as I can go, and it's terrible.
There he is. Oh, that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. So now, you've been collecting comics for as long as you've been playing D&D, I'm guessing? Like, was it all
longer? I've been collecting X-Men specifically since about 75, 76.
Excellent. So if you and you have all those X-Men still?
I have all all the X-Men, all the X-Force, X-Factor, New Mutants, any X title, I own them all going all the way back up until I think it was about 3 months ago. We did a live stream.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't take the woke crap anymore, and they crossed my red line, and I walked in and canceled all my DC and Marvel subs, and I only do independent now.
So, considering you have all of those X-Men, I guess my follow-up question is, what's the security system like on your house?
Oh, it's very good. Oh, no, it's very good. As a matter of fact,
it's very good, and it comes loaded.
This will be going back into...
Hold on. Wait. We got to do full screen for this. Wait a second.
I'll see if I can not get a glare on it.
Here we go. Boom.
That's my X-Men #1. And I actually bought a 9.0 slab of it, cracked it open, and got Stan Lee to sign it on a personal signing. So this was my holy grail of collecting since I was a kid.
So good.
And then I've got, a lot of them, Chris Claremont. I remember meeting him as a kid, and he's the one who got me to be a lifelong X-Men fan because I met him from where I used to get my comic books, and they were friends, and I never knew it. And the guy was like, come on in the back room. I got something to show you. And I'm like, whoa, I'm a kid. I can't go in the back room kind of thing. And he goes, no, it's okay. So there was a guy sitting there, and he goes, oh, hey, this is Dennis. And they're like, hey, Dennis, did you get an X-Men? I'm like, whenever I can afford back issues, I pick up a back issue because I'm getting them all. And then he goes, well, the guy was like, what do you love about X-Men? What do you love about this character? What do you like? What don't you like? Blah, 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 blah. And it was the greatest conversation. I sat there and talked. They were eating subs and whatever. And I was like, oh, cool. And then he's like, oh, by the way, Dennis, this is Chris Claremont. And I'm like, hey, Chris, nice to meet you, Chris. And I was like, wait, Chris Claremont? And I'm looking down at the book, and I'm like the Chris Claremont? And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, whoa, really? And he goes, do you want me to sign that book since you're buying it? And I'm like, oh, you'd sign a comic book? So I've still got it. And back then they didn't have markers. It was just a pen. And he signed it. I still have it in the original bag and board that I got it from that comic shop.
What issue number, Dennis? I expect you to know the answer.
159.
Of course you do. How could you not, right?
150. He got to sit on Chris Claremont's lap and tell him everything he loved about the X-Men.
It's just like Santa Claus. But the thing was, Chris didn't push any stuff. Like, he didn't say, you need to do this. All he was interested was in my feelings and my perspective and what I liked about X-Men.
Yeah.
That made me feel special, and as it should any person who collects comics, which is the exact opposite of what we see today.
Well, you know what's so funny is the exact opposite. But I will say this: when you come into this space, and thank you, Green Laser, for dropping the link, guys. Let us know what your number is if you back KOR-DRATH.
That's right.
Let us know during the stream. And the thing for me about it is that what I love about COMICSGATE and what I loved about, for me, I got into it on the fandom menace end of things, when Ethan was on the High Council and all that stuff. And actually a little bit before that. The thing that I love about it is it feels like going into those comic shops. And we're, when you hear someone like Razor Fist, which was brought up earlier, talk about the Iron Age, the thing that I started thinking about when I was anticipating this stream is the idea of us basically having to put the raw materials together and rebuild anew, lifelong customers, rebuild anew, and a space where enthusiastic fans can move to. I thought, this feels like an Iron Age book. This feels like it's worthy of that name. And I love the timing on that. That's just so great.
I do have XO pages. I don't know how many. That was it. I stopped selling my stuff, so I probably do have a good amount of XO pages, but I don't sell my stuff. So contact my wife when you read the obituary that says I'm no longer here, and I'm sure she'll sell some.
Yeah, if there's an obituary where I'm no longer here, you'll have to go probably see my wife at the prison to arrange that, because I think we all know that's how it's good. That or death by country fried steak. Anna, that Star Wars girl, hail. Razor Fist will be on the Jack Show tonight.
Oh, nice.
Got to see that one.
That is awesome.
Very nice.
Whoa, I thought it was that Star Trek 66 girl.
No, not on here.
Twitter.
I
Can't
will
change
tell
it once
you-
you're on YouTube, dude. That's your
Oh, yeah.
YouTube name.
I know.
I love
still
the
think it's
Shatner
awesome
story
she did
too.
so on Twitter.
I
Oh,
mean,
that Shatner
we-
story is fantastic. So
It is.
We saw William Shatner. I guess it was about 2 years ago before all this stuff started, and but we saw him for a live screening of Wrath of Khan, and then he did a Q&A afterwards.
Oh,
And
wow.
that guy is, you got to tell. I mean, I got to tell you, he is so hilarious. Someone in the audience goes, "So Bill, I just have to ask the question: boxers or briefs?" And the greatest deadpan you'll ever see. He looked right in the person's eyes and he goes, "Depends." I was like, this guy is a professional. He just, nothing's gonna shake him, man. He's awesome.
that's awesome.
He's awesome to listen in panels and stuff. There, even some of the Next Generation crew is great. But man, Shatner is one of a kind. I actually just got I got Shatner to finally sign my gold key #1. So that just came back. I just got it a couple of days ago. So that is awesome. Another one I'm really happy with. So just thrilled with it. Bill's just a
What
great
a legend.
guy.
What a legend. Let me
Yeah.
refresh this here and see if we can get this thing moving. What do we got here?
He's
Are
such
we
a great
still
guy.
at? Let's see.
Did you ever watch?
Oh, boom! Looks like we got another one, didn't we? Or is this? Have we moved
Well,
or
it says
not?
846, but sometimes it's weird. Sometimes the backer changes, but the number takes a second to go up.
Hold on
It's
a
weird.
second. We're gonna
No, I'm
refresh
sure
when the
it
number
did.
goes
But
up.
did you ever
LE,
watch?
number
It only
930.
lasted. The show only lasted for I think a season, and it was based off of a Twitter account, and the Twitter account was shit that my dad says.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
CBS made a sitcom, and they just use the symbols that people do for the word shit, and it was my dad says, and the dad was William Shatner, and
Yes.
it was a good. You did watch it, Dennis?
Oh God, yes. I love that show. I can't,
Dude, it was
sad when it went off.
But it was only like one season, right? Maybe two, one.
I think one.
It was so good. They had a couple of the people that made it really big on Mad TV. I'm blanking on their names now, but there it is. Thank you.
Boom.
Yay! Thank you.
Ellie, this is for you. We got to play this for you because promise is a promise.
Charge!
Now I just got to know how many copies NARWHAL sold just out of friendly competition.
I couldn't even tell you.
Teasing.
But
Go ahead, sorry.
that was such a good show. It was fun.
When you think of what dads say, I just heard somebody the other day go, "Oh, dumbass." And I think of that 70s show. I think of Red Foreman every single time I hear that word. No matter who says it, I turn and look, and I just expect to see Red Foreman there.
So are you going to watch? I think is it a Netflix thing? Are you going to watch? Is it the 90s they're doing? I think it's the 90s because he's back in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it takes place. It's still in Point Place, Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, Hot Donna and their son, dumbass. I can't give his name right now. They have grandkids, and they basically come and drop them off for the summer. So Kitty and the Foremans basically take care of the grandkids.
Right.
I will give it a shot because the original was just so good, but it's going to be hard to catch that lightning in a bottle twice.
Well, I hate to say this, guys, but the jolt is real. We have backer number 931
I see
right
that.
now.
Thank you.
It's an avalanche, and I got to refresh to see what we've got here, guys. Boom.
Oh, thank you, guys.
And
now
you
we're
know
just.
what? You might have some bragging rights over NARWHAL.
I think so. Just
I've
three
gotta-
away from 850. So that's backers. That is, going by this count.
Crazy.
I know why the count is different, but
we've got to say this though. I've got to say we're going to do two cheerleaders now.
Charge!
I've got two gentlemen here. They deserve it. They deserve those two cheerleaders. Look at this. Boom.
Dennis, you need to learn After Effects so we can get our channel up to date with some cool videos and stuff.
Well,
Don't worry, I know a guy.
I may be learning an entire Adobe suite here, so that's a lot.
Oh my gosh, you guys are great, man.
That's so funny.
I backed you
I
just
know.
by not
I just,
selling
you
any
know,
extra pages.
well, look at it like this. You can't take it personally, because it's not like I said I do, but I won't sell anything to you. I don't sell pages, period. So it's not a you thing. I stopped selling art years ago. I mean, there's a few things out there, but the only reason is because I do take a portfolio of art to a show, but I really put a high price on stuff. Honestly, because a lot of times I come home with everything in that portfolio. But there's been a few times where somebody's like, "I'll take it," and I'm like, "You will?" Okay. Because
and then he's sad. He is sad.
I'm
He's
very
like,
sad.
wow, I can eat a lot of good food tonight, but I sold my piece.
Well, I mean, because you care about this stuff, you know. I mean, you were talking about your X-Men collection, and hail to you, Past Master Dan. Great to see you.
Hey, what's up?
It's one of those things to where we mean it when we make this work. There's so many hours on the board. If you were to break it down to an hourly rate, wage, it would be a ton of money, because we sit there and we're putting the stuff together. So we either have to price the work in such a way that it's a joy to see it go, but in most cases, it really is. It's our legacy of what we do and we create. And when you guys back these books, they're shipped from us, and we're printing these books together.
Oh yeah,
this is a personal customer, interaction we're having right here. And we love you guys for backing these books and supporting us. It's big.
Yeah.
Eric Foreman. Thank you, Enrique. I couldn't
That's
get
it.
his name.
Oh yeah, Eric Foreman. I didn't know that about Aaron. Maybe he told me that and I don't remember, but he usually sells, I don't know. I didn't know that. I know Aaron does have, I don't know if he still sticks to it, but he used to have, I guess you could say, a policy of not taking like talking head pages and stuff to shows, because I mean, if you're a really, really like top, and I think Aaron is, but you got to go by fan stuff. If you're, a Joe Kubert or somebody like that, then it doesn't matter what's on the page, it'll go, for a good amount. But what? Oh, but now I just got a text from my wife. I'm like, what is she saying? But the thing is, it's like he said, I remember him saying, and this was back during CrossGen, so this is how long ago it was. He goes, "Oh, I just keep those pages because they're probably not going to sell for a lot, and I don't want to devalue my work by selling them just to sell them. So I'd rather keep them." And then when it came to pages he does sell, I can't remember the number, the amount, but he said, "I will never price a page less than, whatever amount he said." And part of it is because he doesn't want to devalue his work. And that is a real, like I said, I do price my stuff high, and I do it because if I'm going to sell it, it's got to make me happy. Even though, look, I sold on the First Man campaign, I put up the parody ad, original art, which was, I mean, it printed as one page, but I've never drawn anything double up like they did in the Golden Age. So it's actually a 2-page spread. It's 14 by 22, and or no, it's 17 by 22, and I put it up for $2,000, honestly thinking, it's not, it probably won't sell. So we bought it. I hated shipping that out. Hated it.
The tears almost soaked through the cardboard of the shipping mailer.
It killed me mailing that out. But if I have a price on it, just like in the portfolio, and somebody's like, "I'll take it," well, I'm not going to say, "Well, I wasn't serious." No,
just kidding.
That's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
We've got 45 people in here. Make sure you hit the like and share this out, and let's sell some books.
Like and subscribe, everybody. Like and subscribe.
See where we are here.
Yeah, because we're getting close. We're only $3,723 away from. You guys will be getting the next
stretch goal, baby.
Stretch goal, and then we will be unlocking and showing the third one.
I'm not unlocking it, just showing it.
Showing it. Yeah. Showing it.
You guys heard it here first. Andy and Dennis are going to show it when they hit the next stretch goal. Now, I don't know what they mean by it, but it's going to get shown. So
I just like how I just like how Dennis does that math in his head so fast. I know he's been working on it since he saw that number, so it's not that impressive.
I do have 10 fingers and toes, so I'm pretty good with that.
There you go.
Right.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, guys. Yeah, I mean, it is. I love seeing this book move. I know Ethan's been singing its praises, and I think it's, we were talking about that. Sorry. Look, it's COMICSGATE. It's going to happen.
That's right.
The thing I love about it the most is that, you're seeing that double page spread, which I've been looking at whenever I get a chance. I just love to go and check out those pages right there.
Now, you know what? Oh, well, finish what you were saying. I'll tell you something.
Oh, well, I'll keep it simple. I freaking love it. Next.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Well, no, all I was going to say is one of the different things with this book is, when I was doing First Man, I was doing a kind of a hybrid where I would pencil the stuff on in Sketchbook Pro on a computer, then I'd print it out in blue and ink it because I like having original art. So I would ink it traditionally. But this book, I'm just drawing straight to the board. So I drew that straight to the board. No light boxing. I just put 2 pieces of paper together because it's a double page spread. I did a thumbnail. I always do my thumbnails, but I did a little thumbnail so I could see where the basic shapes and all the big shapes would be. And I just ruled out the panel borders at the bottom and popped in a horizon line. And first thing I drew was KOR-DRATH, and then I worked my basic. And obviously the whole thing is sketched out. I know I showed some process shots, but KOR-DRATH was first. Then the guy he was cutting up. After that, I don't remember the rest of the order, but yeah, it's all drawn right on the board. No light boxing or.
Yeah, I mean, when you say it that way, it sounds simple. Is there a way I'm like, look at this going, oh yeah. So first you get in the cockpit and then you fly. So piece of cake, but do you have a higher res image of this you could share on screen?
Oh yeah.
You could call up. I'd love to share it so they could see because it's a stunner, guys. I mean,
one of the things I think you guys are going to love in this book. So especially since those of you that role played before, if I say to you, oh, Goblin, Kobold, Hill Giant, Frost Giant, you've automatically put something in your mind what it looks like. Andy doesn't have these preconceived notions, and every Hill Giant is unique. They look different. So they're individualized. It's just not like mass-produced figures that are sitting out there. When you see dragons, red dragons, all red dragons don't look alike. They look completely different. They might be the same color, but they all have individual identities. Oh. And I think you guys are going to love this.
Well, another thing, Dennis wrote, so the basic gist behind this spread, obviously besides the fight, the story point behind it is KOR-DRATH and his tribe were out hunting. That's all. They were just out, killing deer. There's some dead deer on the ground.
Tribe, so they're gathering food.
Yeah, they're gathering food and stuff. And they get basically jumped by this tribe that they're not friendly with, the Anaconda tribe. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, if they were out hunting, I've got to draw some remnants of some deer on the ground because they were hunting. And then, well, somebody probably has a satchel. Not everybody, but some, lower down in the tribe, it's like, what do I get? Where's my sword? You don't get a sword. Carry the satchel, you pussy. So some guys have satchels and stuff and, different gear they're wearing because they weren't really, KOR-DRATH always looks like this pretty much, but some guys are just wearing different stuff because it's not like they were out going, we're getting ready for battle. Nope, we're just going out hunting some food. And then these Anaconda dudes jump them. And I told Dennis, besides, all the tribes are signified by different tattoos. So the Anacondas have an Anaconda tattoo, and they can be anywhere on their body. Same with the Red Lions. They have a Red Lion tattoo that can be anywhere.
But those tattoos are also not just ink. They're actually put on when they're young, and they're infused with magic. So as you get older, each person's tattoo will become magical and do special things for each individualized person.
Oh, this is awesome.
So then I said, well, if these guys are Anaconda tribe, maybe some of the stuff they wear has some scaling type texture to it, like skin from an anaconda and stuff like that. So,
You know, somebody was asking how many are in that panel. You know what I think we should do? I think you should put a Waldo in there so we can do a Where's a Waldo in there.
I don't know. I like filling up space. I want to make it a really just a mess of stuff going on.
Awesome.
You know, the guy down here on the ground that is basically, you know, pinning this guy down with a spear or something, you know.
Randy found us.
Up to him. What's up, Randy?
That's right. Hail, Randy.
And of course, this guy gets run through. And then, you know, one thing I want to do too is the guy right here fighting, who's doing the running through of this guy here is the leader.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he's the only guy that has like this furry type cloak and a thicker belt and, you know, more, you know, like the forearm metal wristlet things, forearm things, and the armband that has like a lion type thing on it to signify that, you know, he's the leader and stuff.
So John, to answer your question, is it like a henna? In a way it is, but it's actually put on by the tribal shaman. It is actually put on there and individually, you know, so you can see the red lion or the anaconda, and then it's infused with their magic, and their magic is drawn from both ley lines, which are important in this world, but more importantly for barbarians, it's from their ancestral mounds. They actually draw their magic from their ancestors. So it's actually ancestral magic, and it gets poured into it during the ritual, and that's how it works. So in a way, it's like a henna where it's put on, but it's not temporary. It's a permanent tattoo.
Speaking of ancestors, I saw a picture of a great grandmother when she was like really young. You want to talk about ancestral mounds? Booyah! That chick was stacked when she was younger.
It happens.
Just saying. Grandpa was at the beach and he had an ancestral mound. So.
That's right. So listen, folks, if you want more of that, KOR-DRATH is your answer, guys. We got 58 people here in the chat. So guys, and if you do back the book, we are at, I believe, 847 backers. Can we get to 848? That's what I need to see that. This is a legit serious thing, guys. Wherever I'm located on whatever spectrum I'm on, I'm not joking, numbers that end in 7 drive me completely nuts.
Yeah.
If anybody feels like doing me a solid and backing this book, taking one for the team and getting an amazing comic book in the process, do feel free to back this book and move that number up.
That's right.
48 for me. I can't take it.
That's right. I hear you. I'm that way too, but not with 7. So
yeah, I know. It's oh my gosh, guys. Yeah, absolutely. I can appreciate Andy wants to hold on to his artwork. At some point, could we buy a print of KOR-DRATH cover A, First Man Volume 2, etc.? I hear what you're saying.
Oh, buy like
a print, like a G-Clay or something, I guess.
You mean like a black and white of the artwork, or?
Yeah, Randy, let us know. Do you mean black and white, or do you mean a color print? Let us know.
Yeah, just like a color print of the cover A,
or like a version of the cover, or
right. What do older women have between their boobs that younger women don't? A belly button. Oh,
but
that's rough, man. Oh, here you go.
Color 11 by 17. So the problem with 11 by 17 is mailing. You know, a lot of the reason we do the campaigns, and I say we, I mean, you know, pretty much look at a lot of the CG campaigns. And the reason a lot of us do the 7 by 10 mini prints is because they fit nicely into a Gemini mailer. Once you get to 11 by 17, you can't fold it because nobody's going to want a 11 by 17 print folded in half. So you've got to mail it flat. And that just goes into honestly, another level of mailing when it comes to the packaging. You have to do. Oh, look at that, man! He is busting you hard.
777. Hey, that is a lucky number, though.
Oh, I gotta say, I gotta play this the cheerleaders now, but I just want to thank that son of a bitch. All right, so here you go, brother. I love you. You know it.
Charge!
Oh, the cruelty, man. The cruelty is real.
You gotta leave it up to the groomsmen, I tell you.
Oh, it was a brutal man. Yeah.
Try the
Hail
V on
Jeremy
Tip Your
Birds. It's great to
Waitress.
see
That's
you.
hilarious.
Yeah.
That is
Jonas
too
is
funny.
saying a tube? Like, people are desperate, Andy. People are desperate.
Well, I mean, you're right. You could do a tube, but you know, you need to take into account,
Yeah.
you know, you're paying for the cost of the tube. You know what I mean? Gemini mailers, believe it or not, aren't that expensive. But when people, like, you know, some people get this, some don't. But you know, when they look at the cost of shipping, it's not just the postage. It's also, you know, and everybody's different, but some people, you know, add it up a little more because, well, I got to put all this stuff together. I'm not doing that for free. And then, you know, the cost of a Gemini mailer. Now, a tube. Okay, a tube's not a bad idea. I want to say mailing tubes are maybe $1.50 each.
Oh no, more than that.
Oh, they're more than that?
Yeah, I just bought some.
Oh, okay. So they're more than that. So I mean, I don't even know. I'm just going to throw out a number. Let's say they're $5 a piece. So I mean, if an 11 by 17 print's 20, you're paying $5 for the tube. That's 25, and then you know shipping on top. So it could roll out to be $30 total.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with it. I'll definitely, Randy, take that into consideration and do some research on cost of a tube, cost of mailing, because the other thing is you can't mail it all together. So it's a separate shipping cost as well, kind of like the t-shirts are, you know.
I just have to point this out, guys. This is at 56,277 with 847 backers.
I know, it's
These
all
people
your
are killing me with the sevens.
I had, you know, like, see, what's killing me is I round up or round down. So what's killing me is it's 850.
Yes.
And we're close. And I'm not saying, you know, hey, if 3 people out there would love to back you right now, go get yourself a shirt. If you already backed it, buy a shirt. Can't hurt. Look,
I was going to say the other option, you know, sometimes, Andy, you could do prints when it's all done and bring them to conventions if they want 11 by 17s. Like this weekend, we're going to be down in South Carolina at the SC Comic Con Junior. Reenie's going to be there. Dan Fraga's going to be there. Bud's riding down with us, Bud Root. And it's going to be a blast. Just come and see us, you know, and maybe Andy can start doing some prints.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the convention thing is definitely. I remember getting a I don't think it was through Diamond. I remember getting an Arthur Adams, Monkey Man, and O'Brien 11 by 17 way back. Do you remember those prints? And then I think there was a Darrow one as well.
I remember the prints. I've got right here. So to the left of me is a bookshelf that's all independent trade paperbacks, and I got Monkey Man and O'Brien right on it.
Oh, I love it, man.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that get a re-release.
You know, that's the thing. Like, I get Art can make a nice living doing covers because, you know, it's not necessarily the rate that he gets, which I'm sure is a fantastic rate, but what he can sell the originals for, you know.
Yeah.
But, man, it would be, if he did a Monkey Man and O'Brien crowdfund, it would just kill. But all I can think of is, you know, Art's, I don't know how old he is, but I know he's older than me. I don't think he's 60 yet, but let's say he's like 58. You know, for all I know, he could just be like, yeah, I just don't want to draw 4 issues of something or 2 or even a 64 page because it's a lot of work compared to one cover. That still, his covers could take him up to a week with the amount of detail he puts into it.
Yeah, that detail's crazy.
And then he sells it. The double page wraparound variant is criminally underbought. I've got that one in the Bud Root. Thank you very much, Timothy. It depends because what the thing with Indiegogo is you're seeing what it shows. So like if you want to scroll up so we can like see how many it says on the cover B, the wraparound.
Sure. Let me see here. Cover B. There we go.
It says 21, but secret tiers were sent out and it's also an add-on. So there's more than 21 of those gone.
Okay.
He's 50.
You know,
yeah, I mean,
that's the stuff that you don't see that, you know, being the campaign owner, I can see. Does USPS not offer bulk rates for commercial accounts? In Canada with volume 1, I can mail a package for almost half of what it would cost someone that just walked into. No. I mean, I use stamps.com, which is, you know, through the post office. And I've got my little 4x6 printer looking at it right now. And And no, it does not. So,
And so, like, when you're thinking about your covers, and you were talking about Art Adams' crazy detail, can we talk about Bud Root's crazy detail, your crazy
Sure.
detail? I mean, what makes you? Because when you ask somebody like Bud Root to do a cover for you, I imagine that there's that mutual respect of loving his detail and his work. You've talked about it. Was that a no-brainer to you? Like, I've got to have a Bud Root KOR-DRATH cover
for this book, yeah. I mean, I was like, you know, Bud's great at drawing the ladies, as we all know. And I said, I'm not coloring it.
Mhm.
I'm waiting to do a few more pages before I send them out for color, because I'd like to get at least 5 done. Then I can swap these out that are on the campaign page for color stuff, but I'm not coloring it. No, I don't have that time. and honestly, I'm not that fast. I mean,
Yeah.
what professional colors can churn out in a day, you know, just surpass me. And I'd rather spend the time drawing than what it takes me to color one page.
And
So
Dan
Bud,
was
you know, Bud draws the ladies really well, of course. And no, Lawless only colored those 2 covers. I asked him to color the whole book, and I understand this. He doesn't want to color a 64-page book. He wants to draw his own stuff, color his own stuff. You know, if there was maybe a short story like Aaron's doing of Garbage Man, you know, Dan's coloring that, 'cause it's like, you know, it's 8 pages or something. So he's not. But no, I asked Bud, and I said, here's the 2 ladies, Adriana and Lilith. I said, pick one. And he went with Lilith because he could make up those couple monster dark worms that he made up. And I was like, that's fine, dude. Just do what you do. So,
oh, that's great, man.
And he showed me a sketch, which I didn't expect. He could have just done it, and I would have been like, that's cool. But, you know, he showed me a sketch, and it was cool. So,
yeah, for people who don't know, I mean, this is a dynamite Bud Root cover. For people who are not familiar with Bud Root's work, just a master of the craft, does incredible work. And I love his monsters, his gorillas, his werewolves.
Oh, yeah.
But of course, his women. And Dan Wallace on colors there. Beautiful, guys.
He's
that's gonna be
so good. It's going to be fun hanging out with him at the con. So,
It is.
Yeah.
Always have a blast.
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, and thank you guys for being here. I mean, we're at about an hour 18. I just want to see, is anybody in the chat going to say, hey, hold on a second, Shanth, I'm going to back this.
I got to get Shanth off the 7s.
Yeah, you got to get me off the 7s, guys. I'm going to see if we're going to wrap this stream up in about a couple minutes here. If anybody wants to be a hero and get it off of those 7s, man, I can't take it. So let's see what we can do. Is there a hero? Is there a hero in the chat? Is the question. So let us know.
Okay, so I thought I did one. He said, why no cover E secret perk? And what he's talking about is when you add a cover, because, you know, obviously everything's an add-on, but once you've already backed it, you can't go back and re-add on. So when you add something to the campaign that can easily ship with the book, you usually send out a secret tier and to the backers through an update, and it's the book, but the shipping on it is a lot cheaper, so it's basically an add-on. I thought I did that for cover E, so I'm going to check tonight, and if I didn't, I apologize. Yeah, Randy says there is one, so check your updates or something, because I did send one out. I thought for a fact I did. Yeah. So
look at these people. They're just, they keep throwing the 7s around. I mean,
I know.
I love how the driving motivator is quelling Shanth's OCD. Yeah, that's right. Well, also, I should add, you're going to get an absolutely amazing book, too, as well. So,
exactly.
Hale, I backed KOR-DRATH twice. It's the only CG book I've done that with. I just needed to have that newer cover.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Uh-oh.
I really appreciate that.
David G.
And by the way, we can, spoiler alert, that is going to be more than 64 pages. So I haven't updated that yet on the page because we haven't nailed down the exact page count, but it's more than 64.
All right, let's take a look here. Dave G says, I am 932.
Well, thank you very much.
Have
Dave.
we been saved?
You should have.
Boom! But we still gotta wait for it to update.
Still
Yeah,
gotta wait.
it'll
That's
take a
so
minute.
weird. That is
The
so
sevens
weird
are
how
strong with this one. That's my third backing.
David G, thank you. Thank you
legend.
so much, David. I really, really do appreciate all of you guys that have backed this and support this. I say it in my updates. I say it on the live streams. It really is because of you guys that allow us to do these books. You know, when it's Marvel and DC, as much as I love working for them, there was no direct communication with the fans except for at cons. And I was lucky enough to get into business when they still did letters pages. And, you know, every now and then Marvel would forward me down letters, you know, actually mail me down letters that were mailed in. But this is, you know, the one thing about the technology and stuff is we get to thank you guys. Thank you so much. The one thing with the technology is we can really interact with you guys more one-on-one like this, and your input is awesome. And you're letting us do what we really want to do, which is our own stuff. And I really look at it like you guys are investors in a company, because you're investing in it and you're going to get something out of it. And it's more than just the book at this point, you know. There's the stretch goals.
Plus, it came up on one of the other streams that was asked, is this my first published book? Yes, this will be my official first published material. So if it winds up being a big deal, you guys could own a piece of history.
I already told Dennis he needs to start working on some signatures. I said, don't sign it like you sign a check. Good Lord. And I also told him, I said, well, you don't
Unless
expect
you're sending a check.
I know Dennis wants like 100 copies, and I'm like, you don't expect a discount, right?
No, actually, he was going to charge me more.
I was like, well, for you, Dennis, I'll send you a secret link, and it'll be $35 a book.
You know, out of everything that's in there, the one that I'm most happy about, which is actually the first drawn piece I ever had, was the parody ad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the parody ads. I love those.
Yes, he shows the parody ad. We did a beer parody ad instead of his Hostess cupcake.
Is it in the top part here? Or?
That's it.
The parody ad. Scroll down. Green Laser. I will look into it for you. So I will look into it.
Let me see here. Oh, here we go.
If you want to DM me, your email, that's fine as well. But I will look into it tonight.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, gotta do the parody. That's my 4th parody ad. So
I know. Hey, listen, I've got everything you've done up till now, and I love this stuff. Let me play some cheerleaders for David G, a legend among legends.
Legend among legends.
We love it, and so you're getting the 2 cheerleaders. That's right.
Charge!
And let me say this, guys, too, Andy. It is such a tremendous joy to have you on this channel talking about this book. And Dennis, it is so great to meet you, my friend, a fellow D&D fan and comic fan, and it's just great. I've seen you on streams, obviously watching Andy's streams, but this is my first time meeting you in person.
Right.
And it's terrific to meet you, my friend. And I'm excited to get both of my copies of this book. Congratulations, gentlemen. I think we moved the needle on this stream.
We did.
If you guys don't mind,
I appreciate it.
Oh, brothers, you are very welcome. If you guys don't mind, stick around for a little bit. I'm just going to play the outro, and I just want to say, hey, real quick, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, dude.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Andy. You guys are awesome. Thank you, COMICSGATE. Hi to all of you guys, and we will see you guys very, very soon.
Here's a little something for you busters. Yeah.
You're not even learning anything on the street.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid, son?
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say to you, boy?
Yeah.
Do you?
What's up with that?
Look at me, damn it!
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack. What's up with
You
that?
smoke crack, don't you?
Y'all cowards don't even smoke crack.
Look at me, boy!
Hey to
You
you,
smoke crack, don't you?
don't even smoke crack.
You know what that does to you? Huh? You smoke crack, don't you?
Smoke crack.
Go on and do it expeditiously.
What's up with that?
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells.
Don't even smoke crack.
I apologize. I forgot you were there. You may go now.